and welcome back to Let's Talk Books. Today I'm giving you a honest review of the latest book by the one, the only, Miss Colleen Hoover. This is her latest novel, All Your Perfects. It came out this week, July 17th. So it is out for everyone to buy and read and hopefully love like I loved it. So I was lucky enough to read this book a few months ago, and I got this ARC copy at BEA last month. Sadly, I didn't get to meet Colleen Hoover there, but I will be seeing her September 17th at Strand Bookstore because she's doing a US tour of her book. I will leave down all the information that you need to see if she's going to be in a city near you, so you could go and meet her. I can't wait to meet her. It's gonna be so exciting. So if you're in New York and you want to go meet her, please do. I will be there. Maria will be there. Can't not wait. I'm so excited. So yeah, any information regarding this book and where you could buy it will definitely be down below for you guys to check out. Now, on with this review. Like any of her other books, it's hard to describe what the book is about. And I like to describe this book as two people who fell in love in a way that is unique. Their relationship starts out very differently than most, I think. And they fall madly in love. The love is so strong in the beginning. They get married and it's still so amazing and so great. But life happens and a marriage is in shambles. And it's just them trying to rebuild that love again and basically going back to the start of how and why they fell in love. And you're essentially just going through this journey with them, and that is what it's about. That's all you really need to know. This will be a spoiler-free review. I won't give anything away, just my honest thoughts. So yeah. So for me, All Your Perfects is honest, thought-provoking, and Colleen Hoover's best book yet for me. It is so tied between It Ends With Us. It's not even funny, but after I was done, I was like, she did it. I cannot believe it, but she did it. And that was my first initial thought after finishing it. This story follows Graham and Quinn, and they are the main two characters in this book. So with Graham, Colleen has created some amazing and heart-throbbing male characters in all of her books. Some I love more than others, but for the majority of it, they're all pretty good, and I fell in love with a lot of them. Now, there's something about Graham that is different, and I say that because from what I got out of him, from what I read, and how I took him, was that he wasn't like your jaw-dropping, bombshell-looking male character as you see in all of her other books. Quinn's attraction to him wasn't off the bat like lust, which I feel like you get a lot with Colleen's books or even just new adult books in general. But the way that he came across in this book was so much more than looks could ever even surpass. He knows who he is, and that's something that is very, very sexy, is that he's confident but not cocky. You know, in a lot of new adult books, they're very macho manly, yeah, you know you want this. He's not like that whatsoever. He's like your average Joe times 1,000. He is so full of life despite things that he has gone through. There's just something so loving and sexy about him, and he's just a man's man. People will just fall head over heels in love with this man just because of how he makes Quinn feel. You feel it, and it's just intense. Even though it's fictional characters, it's a real thing, and there's just something about them that just feels right. With Quinn, she is the epitome of a strong female character, and definitely probably one of my top 5 female characters I have ever read. She is witty and sarcastic. She made a point to go out into the world and become the person that she always truly wanted to be, and not who her mom wanted her to be. And she doesn't let anything define her, and that's so, so important. I love seeing things through her eyes. I wanted her to be like my big sister. That's what I kind of got out of her, and yeah, she is just fantastic. And coming from a book and coming from a storyline that I personally have never experienced, and it's more of a adult experience as far as like marriage and just all that stuff that involves a marriage. Obviously that's something that I have never been through, but she has a way of making it feel like it is happening to you almost, and like every little emotion that these characters feel, you just have so much sympathy with them and you just understand it. I personally believe that this is one of her stories that will resonate with more people than any of her other books. It's a story that needed to be told in this specific genre of like new adult contemporary romance. Obviously this book is going to have all your lovey-dovey stuff and, you know, all your contemporary feels. She puts a very, very hard topic into it. The topic is something that people are going through every single day. And it is insane that the moment that I was reading this book, how many people that I knew in my life that were going through the same things that Quinn and Graham were going through, especially Quinn. It's just something that a lot of people just don't talk about, or it's still kind of hush hush. And it was important, I think, for especially women out there to know that they're not alone and that this happens in a marriage, and sometimes it could either be fixed or it can't be fixed. And even though I'm not married, I know a lot of married people, and this shows the good, the bad, and the ugly side of what marriage is. All the ups and downs, and how much a relationship could look perfect from the outside looking in, where inside it's darker and it is complicated and it's heartbreaking. Maybe people don't see, or that they just, couples just have a way of hiding it. And they are the perfect example of that, of showing that, yeah, look, we're great on the outside, but really inside the home, it is a catastrophe. These two people, they hold on to that love that they had when they first met, and they're just so utterly, deeply, just everything. They're just so in love with each other, and you know that. But sometimes love isn't enough in some cases, and that's where the heartbreaking part comes in. But throughout the story, you just can't help but fall in love with them and fight for them. And every time they laughed, I laughed. They cried, I cried. They were angry, I was angry. They were both wrong and they were both right, and none of them were perfect, and there was no good side or bad side. You know, sometimes in like a marriage, it's like, oh, well, whose fault is it? It wasn't like that. It's just they both had their faults, and they were both not perfect people. And two imperfect people isn't going to make a perfect marriage and a perfect relationship, and things are going to collide. She definitely captured the essence of what a broken marriage can be like. Something about this book I feel like is a good therapy session, and it's going to open your eyes on how to look for those things that maybe you're missing. Maybe read this book if you're someone who doesn't know where they're going with their relationship, but you are still in love with each other, or you're holding on to that love that you had. I think that something about this book will kind of open people's eyes to conversation, and communication is key. I hope it does help people maybe see things differently and get different perspectives, because you got to see two sides of the story. It wasn't just one side. And I think that is very important, to capture two sides, because there's always more than just one side to a story, or to a marriage, or to this or to that. And it's just, it couldn't be any more perfect. And yeah, it's just, oh, I have like the chills. I'm just like, just talking about this book and reliving it in my mind. I'm just like, oh, it's so good. Just read the first few pages. You're not going to want to stop. But I believe that every chapter after that will leave your heart aching and your mind racing until the very last page. Believe me when I say that, because it happened to me. And I know it's happened to so many other people who have read this book already. It's just, it's one to not miss. How she developed these characters is just so spot on. And just, yes, I'm so happy, because Without Merit was not my favorite book by her. And so I was a little like, I need this to be great, and it was so much more than that. So I'm just so happy. So that is all my thoughts on All Your Perfects. Read it and leave a review and tell me all your thoughts on this book, and if you loved it just as much as I do, and if you plan on reading it. It's just I love it. Thank you so much for watching, and hearing everything that I have to say, even though I ramble sometimes, you know, that's what happens in these reviews. Your mind is going nuts because you don't know, you have so many good things to say that sometimes it becomes mush. But I think I got everything I wanted to say out. And yeah, with that, I will talk to you in my next video. Bye.